You mentioned Peter Thiel. He's this big Silicon Valley guy. He had personal gripes with Gawker.
That's right.
This was him using Hulk Hogan, who he did not have any relationship with, basically to take vengeance on Gawker. Interestingly, he's also a big part of the Trump campaign. He's a supporter of Donald Trump. Now we have a president who I feel has the same idea about the press that Peter Thiel had about Gawker. Is there a fear now that Donald Trump will be inspired by what happened with Gawker and that he will say, basically, if you have the legal team with more money, you can basically crush these smaller news sources?
Absolutely. I think there is a fear about that, this basic sort of chilling effect that it might have on news organizations. Yeah, and part of it is that Peter Thiel did this in secret, right? So he went after these people in secret, and at the same time, you could never quite separate the case from this crazy election cycle. I mean, this is the same time Trump is saying, pointing at the press in his rallies and speeches and saying, we're going to, open up libel laws and sue you like you've never been sued before. I mean, he's calling the press scum and horrible, horrible people and all of that. So, and then, Peter Thiel became a Trump supporter and all that. So, yeah, the USA Today did a great story that looked at the 3,500 lawsuits that Trump is involved with. So I think it's a very real concern.
I find it very depressing that a media organization, any media organization, can be put out of business by a lawsuit. Yet there is, in this era of Trump, there are some positive signs in journalism.
Yeah.
New York Times, Washington Post, both have subscription bases going up. Do you feel like there's this unique opportunity now for, even at a time where they're under attack, for journalism to sort of rise up and maybe use this Trump moment and this time we're living in to be more robust?
Yeah, absolutely. I do actually think that's one of the sort of silver linings of this Trump era, this early time. I think, people there's legitimate criticism of media that's gotten too corporatized over time, maybe gotten too cozy with power, that it trades, softball stories for access to power and celebrity. But, I think that you see the Washington Post and you see the New York Times and you starting to see really great journalism. So there's they're kind of remembering what the press is there for. I mean, look, the journalism is almost by definition something that makes powerful people uncomfortable. And that's the point, right? Speaking truth to power is the point, and we need this in a participatory democracy. So I think if we're sort of remembering what that's all about, why it's important, that could actually be a good thing.
Well, I hope that comes to pass, and congratulations on the documentary. It's a great story, very well told.
Thank you very much
for being here. Brian Knappenberger, everybody.